welcome everyone to another episode of LunarCRUSH Live. Took a little bit of a week off there, and we are back at it. And I think it's like today, Monday. We've got Nimic, we've got the Graph next week, and today we've got the team from Klever. We've got Bruno, Misha, Marlon are all here, and we're going to talk with them and make sure you get your questions in the chat there. Just a reminder, our disclaimer: we do not take payment for these. We bring on fun people with exciting ideas and cool projects, and we interview them and ask them their stories. And make sure you guys get in there and, as it says, slam that subscribe button or just lightly tap it and follow us for all the rest of our streams. And John, without further ado, what's up with Klever?
A lot's up with Klever, and this is one of those interesting ones where we actually reached out to them to say, hey, we want to know what's going on. You guys want to be on a live stream? Because we kept seeing Klever come up in the top 10 alt rank almost day after day this week. Over the last actually 2 weeks, it's been really exciting. And so I'll just cover a few of the social metrics. I mean, I'll add that we only added Klever to LunarCRUSH.com on, I think it was about a month ago, just over a month ago. So let's look at some of the metrics that we're seeing. So huge increases. So over that last month, we've seen the price. That's not a typo. The price is now a little over 14 cents, and it's increased 1,716.78% to be exact.
Is that a lot?
Yeah, I mean it's not 2,000%, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And today it's up another 18%. Market cap of 570 million, putting it at rank 96. Congratulations to their team. That's huge. $29 million in 24-hour volume. Almost 4 billion tokens in circulating supply with a max of 10 billion. I want to hear much more about that and the token itself. But let's look at some of our social metrics. So right now, if we look at social volume, I mean, today we are tracking, actually this was yesterday because it's memorialized by day. Yesterday we had over 9,048. We had 9,048 social mentions. It looks like the highest was on March 8th with 9,482 social mentions. And what that's doing, it's looking at every time someone is mentioning Klever, using their ticker, using their handle for their Twitter account, and it's recognizing every single post that's out there. So that's a lot of activity. Within those posts, we measure engagement. So engagement is going to look things like if someone likes something, they retweet something, they comment on something. It's also not just looking at Twitter, it's looking at other channels, it's looking at Reddit and YouTube and all of that activity going on there. We see that that's really quite amazing. In fact, it hit a new high yesterday. And we're talking, it's in the millions. So that's a lot of engagement going on. It's up over 2,000% just this month. The number of individuals has spiked. This typically happens. We see this when there's major news. And so we've seen some pretty major spikes happen over the last month here. And their audience has almost doubled, which is pretty exciting. The number of individual unique users posting. And when we look at the social dominance, this is actually really exciting. So when you consider that, great, there's a lot of social activity, but if we look at social dominance, almost think of it as market cap dominance, but for social. What percentage of the pie of all social do they have? And when we see that, I mean, it's just continuously increasing. And to the point of yesterday, they had 1.39% of all social posts we collect. Pretty exciting. And so over this last month, I'm going to give some shout outs here to some of the influencers, some of which are on here. So in fact, I even want to go, let's look just today. Let's look at the last 24 hours here. So we see Klever.io, Misha Lederman, Sam, Dio from Klever, Rhythms, Matthew Abs Evans. That is an awesome ab-oriented profile pic. Very cool. Wow. Dr. Klever, saw someone shout out some Dr. Klever posts today. In fact, I'm curious to see what Dr. Klever has been posting, if this is showing. So Dr. Klever has been posting mainly about Klever, but other stuff too. So pretty exciting. In fact, I'm just going to keep moving. M Adoptad 0 is number 8, and Dan Lux Crypto is number 9, and El Sanctum is number 10 with the laser beam eyes. So with that, I actually want to point out one other thing. I just want to go back. I want to go back on the 1 month here. And a really important thing to note is that, we have what we call a correlation rank. And, sometimes we used to get it a lot more. Thanks to Wall Street Bets, we don't get this question quite as much. But, why should I care about social activity? We get that quite a bit. And so if we're talking about, socially driven price moves, we measure that. We call it correlation rank. And so if a correlation rank is close to 5, it's extremely correlated. A good example I usually give is Dogecoin. Dogecoin is the most socially correlated coin in the market. In fact, the price moves are almost perfect compared to social moves. So you have a community that's vested in price movement to occur. And so Klever is extremely high. 4.8 out of 5 is very, very high. So what that means is when social activity is moving, typically the price does too. So just to point that out. So very exciting stuff. One other thing before we add our guest in here. In fact, I want to show this over the last week because it's what caught our eye. So we have something called alt rank, and it's an inverse metric where number 1 is the best, and number 2,150 would be the worst. There's 2,150 coins that qualify for the metric based on activity. And so when we look at this, I mean, we've had a lot of really, really low ranks here. I think they made it to 1 a few times, I think. But like you see kind of this move down from number 323 on Friday. And so went from 323 to, we go like down to 31, down to 16, like down to the teens, down to single digits. And so what's interesting about that is you might see like, yes, we've had some huge price moves in here, but this dropped mainly because of social activity right here. We didn't have this. Yes, the coin was going up in price, but not quite so much compared to social activity. So this was a nice signal. We have alerts that you can set on here. So like if an alt rank falls to a certain level, it can send you an alert. That'd be a fantastic one to set for Klever, because you can see that social activity boomed here, and look what happened since. And so that's a really exciting thing. And just to point out, alt rank looks at price performance plus social activity, and that price performance needs to outperform Bitcoin to rank well. So really well done. With that, let's bring in our guests.
All right, boom. We got Marlon, we got Bruno, and we got Misha. What's up, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome. I don't think I've ever heard John do so many and just one more things. So he must be really excited about what you guys are doing. So welcome to the LunarCRUSH Live. And the way we like to kind of start this is to kind of go around the table a little bit. Tell us where you are in the world today and what's a day in the life of Klever for you. And maybe Bruno, we'll start with you.
Okay. Hello, guys. Well, I'm at Rio de Janeiro right now, Brazil. Good day here, a beautiful day, amazing day for Klever, and here also. Next.
Very cool. And so what's your role? What's your role there at Klever?
Okay. I am CDO at Klever. I provide the technical guidance for the guys, and always look strategical, looking the company and our community for the next 5 and 10 years. Always looking ahead in long term.
The big picture guy.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then Marlon, tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm Marlon. I'm also in Rio. Really amazing day today. Well, I'm
Must
24.
be really sunny there.
Yeah. It's amazing. I'm 24 years old. I'm a co-founder and also the head of software architecture in Klever. And my main role here is transform the ideas in the products that people will use and love, backed by an amazing team. Always with the intent of empower our users and giving them the power to control their own cryptos.
Great. And
Beautiful.
then Misha, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Misha Lederman, 34, turning 35 soon, together with my daughter, 1-year-old, little Miriam, in a few days.
Congrats.
And Director of Communications at Klever. Thank you. We have been performing on every level, to be honest, over the past period, not just in social metrics, but also in downloads, in volume, in transactions, and swaps. It's an amazing time to kind of be alive and be part of the Klever ecosystem and push all the adoption, whether it's in Nigeria, India, Philippines, or in the United States, together with a team that is not only growing daily, but is humble and hungry to learn and always open to new ideas. And yeah, it's inspiring.
No, for sure. And so give us like the 2-sentence, what is Klever in 2 sentences?
Klever originally started out as a wallet ecosystem that has now grown into a crypto ecosystem. We have 2.5 million users worldwide, 130,000 daily active users, which makes us one of the probably highest active, most active blockchain products on the market. And we give people and users their keys in their hands. We empower them to own their money and to master their own destiny. So we are now building, in addition to the app, building an exchange launching very soon, a bank, Klever Bank, Klever browser, and of course the big boy, the Klever blockchain, launching in Q4.
So you rattled off a couple of things in there. You said browser, specific browser extensions, or you're building a browser?
Building a
Marlon,
browser.
Bruno.
Yeah. Building a new browser. Yeah, entirely new engine, everything new. We want a browser that respects our privacy and for everybody. And in crypto, for sure, a crypto privacy, I would say, browser, right, Marlon?
Yeah, exactly. We want to make a place to the users call as yours. So the browser will be this place that your privacy will be always respected and protected.
Yeah, that's the main idea.
And that's currently in the app. It's the dApp browser that you guys have right now. Is that going to like live within the wallet? Is that going to is the same authentication mechanism in place? Like, is there, how do you deal with things like identity in a browser?
I mean, no identity in terms of privacy, right? So the idea is to make this browser, this internal browser inside the wallet, better, and full autonomous from the wallet. So you will be able to use in your desktop, not on your mobile, but in any place. And the main idea is turn this place more powerful for you. I mean, you have privacy, and you can spend your crypto to book a trip or buy something. That's the main idea behind the browser.
Love it.
I think also what's interesting about the Klever browser, as you asked, John, is it part of the current Klever app where we have a browser inside? Well, this is a separate app and not just mobile, it's also going to be desktop. And we see a very large gap in the market. Brave has done a job in trying to push blockchain adoption in terms of the Web 3.0. But I think what Klever has as a very strong advantage is that it's worked with all blockchain protocols to implement a user experience that's instant, not just Ethereum, right? Where you have to wait for a very long period of time in order to actually get transactions through. So instead, the user experience is everything for Klever. So that instant gratification, that instant delivery is what we bring from the current Klever app and the browser there into the Klever browser as a separate app.
Love it. And so is the wallet in the browser too? So if I wanted to make a payment, is that all kind of all tightly woven in?
Yes, of course. Not just
Wow.
the. So Marlon, do you want to take it? Sorry, it's. I think we're cutting into each other.
Yeah, but that's the main idea. The connection between all the services that Klever provides is something that we are always trying to achieve. So we really want to the user have a flat communication between all these services, always identifying the Klever identity inside each one of these services. So on this point, yeah, that's the answer. We are wanting to build something really linear on that sense.
So it sounds like you're trying to create a little bit of an ecosystem there. I have a question about like the browser. So like Brave, for example, or GoDuckGo. Search seems to be even still an issue, on anything outside of Google. I mean, just the experience of finding what you're looking for. I mean, how do you guys kind of plan on handling that piece of search? Are you going to bring in search of something else, and then there's an identity piece that's tied to that, or like, what just like your general thoughts on search within the browser?
In which sense you mean the search itself at the engine, or?
Yep, the engine.
You want to take that one, Bruno?
Yeah, about the engine, you can, if you want to be anonymous in the internet, if you use the Google engine, you are not anonymous anymore. You are identified by Google. So that's a big problem about privacy. Is not only the browser being private, but the all websites be private too, because today we have cookies, and we have, for example, like you said, the Google engine. When you enter into the Google engine, you are not anonymous anymore. So you have an identity inside Google somehow, and Google knows you. So if there are other engines that are full private in the darknet and other place, so this we are not involving this in this engine. What engine you're gonna use, but the browser will be private. We will respect all privacy possible. I mean, full, because we can guarantee the browser, but not the websites that we're gonna use.
Right. So potentially leaving that up to the user to decide if they potentially want to use, hey, if you're on this anonymous browser, but if you want to dabble a little bit, you can go ahead and use Google, but maybe we're not going to recommend that.
Exactly.
But in meanwhile, we have plans to compete with Google on a search engine in the future. Right now we are using
the young guy got it out.
Yeah.
We are using right now a crawler search engine that allow the users go into the web always in a private way, just like Bruno said. So we have our own engine, but this engine will be always improved to compete with Google in the near future, I hope.
Man, wow! So it's you guys have.
Marlon,
you are building an entire ecosystem out here. Go for it.
Sorry.
I think we have a delay.
Yeah, Marlon, you were touching upon the Klever identity. Maybe you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, the Klever identity is a really particular project that we are going to introduce to the community soon. And is about to be able to receive and send money on an easy way, because for some users it's really hard to comprehend what is an address, what is the blockchain, what is the blockchain itself. So the Klever identity will make a user be able to send and receive funds to another people, identified by Klever. So as always, we are trying to empower the users to receive that on a easy way. So the user that doesn't understand exactly what is a blockchain will be able to send money through SMS, through email, or any other key that he understands very well, better than the blockchain. Because the blockchain for some people is like a monster with a lot of pieces. People say blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Elon Musk, whatever. But what is the real purpose of that? So we want to solve this kind of issue with Klever Identity, simplifying this to our community, to our users, and giving this knowledge about the blockchain and the cryptos, slowly education, generally educating our community. We are going to have a smart community able to understand the products that we want to introduce.
So you guys are building an entire ecosystem out. I mean, I'm hearing wallet, bank. I'd love to hear more about bank. In fact, there's even some questions in the feed here. People want to know more about the bank. I see you can purchase crypto with credit card. You got this identity. You got all this stuff going on. What kind of team does it take to do this? Tell us the makeup of your team.
Amazing. I'm very proud being part of this amazing team. The best team that I worked with so far. It's the best thing ever. It's incredible what we are doing. We have so many people focused in your daily jobs, daily tasks. People thinking how turn our days better and better in terms of productive and personal life. And it's amazing working Klever. It's not only me saying that, but all our staff, all our people love in working Klever. It's amazing. It's an amazing place that we are growing, we are building. It's amazing being part of this. Thank you, guys. All guys from Klever.
I agree. Working Klever is something like play a basketball match with LeBron James, with Michael Jordan. I work here with people that I really have an appreciation. So these guys is really rock this stuff.
So it's a good culture. It's a good place to live. You guys are going everywhere.
That's truly the disruptive part, I think, of Klever, is the passion of the team, the origin of the team, the origin of the founder and the CEO, Dio Yannick, and where he comes from in Sao Paulo, and why he wants to solve the broken financial system, because he experienced this himself. There's a deeper sense of purpose in the Klever team than just build an exchange or build a bank or build an app. It's to provide users worldwide with the tools to free themselves financially, and that's what we're doing every day.
Yeah, that's it.
So, would love to hear more about that story. I mean, obviously you're in Brazil. It's hard to get money in and out of the country, especially if we were to put some money in from the United States there. Not all of it's going to show up. It's going to take weeks. It's going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
We've heard. I was even listening to a podcast. I think it was Michael Saylor talking about he had MicroStrategy in Brazil and he couldn't actually remove millions of dollars from the country. It was locked. The government wouldn't release it. And it's just fascinating. I'd love to hear more about the story behind why Klever was formed. I mean, obviously we're in an environment, there's lots of crypto wallets out there, but what was it that drove Klever from the start?
Yeah, it's a dream from Dio, our CEO, that we jump into together. Financial freedom, because the Dio history is amazing. He grew up in a very poor place, and when I met him for the first time, was in a classroom. He trying to learn computer programming, and I was the teacher. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's amazing history about us and all the team. And we started with this idea in mind, financial freedom, because we work so hard, and the payout never came. So work hard, like you said, and the government and etc. I don't like to say, because I think we are freedom to choose our destiny. So we can change. We can change. We have this power in our hands. We can change. We can change our direction. If this direction is not good, you can go in another way. It's your choice every day, every single day. So that's our history behind the Klever. We fight for financial freedom for all, not from us, not from only for us, but for all, because it's possible for everybody. It's just need to jump into the boat and change your own history, your own destiny. That's the main idea. And in that time when I met Dio, I worked for a few dollars in Dio. I don't remember exactly, but very few dollars per day or per month. And since that time, we create this energy for change, for search for our changing our way to change our life, and share with everybody, in this case for our lives, who wants to jump into this boat. So this is our culture. We want to share all the time. We share with the team, with all people that is together with us. That's we have a strong sense of community. So that's the history behind the Klever. Is a very interesting. If you have time, I can stay talking for a long time about that.
That's beautiful,
I
man.
feel like
I love
there's
it.
a lot of people in the
Love
chat that want you to explain all that, but in Spanish. So
Podemos hacer.
You bring up something interesting, because it's, even the opportunity to build, obviously you guys are very passionate about what you're doing, and even the, the building blocks weren't even there 10 years ago, right? To do some of this and to democratize finance and opportunity. And so it's, it's almost like just the timing of all of this coming together. And then for you guys to be the entrepreneurs that you are, to kind of go after that. And it sounds like you're trying to, almost, addressing the needs of the newcomers in the market too, and bringing it to everyone. And so maybe, can you guys just talk a little bit about, we're based here in the US. Crypto has been, pretty prevalent, at least in the circles that we've run in for almost 10 years now. And now it's really kind of coming on. But what's the history been like, in Brazil, and how has it been? And just maybe talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, here in Brazil. Yeah, Marlon, want to talk a little?
Yeah, we came together in 2014, I think, and we started with the plan that we were going to take the Google down. We were going to build a search engine better than Google isn't from nowadays. And we started to build a tool very interesting that was able to crawl the internet. It was able to fetch data on an insane way with an insane cost. And we got stuck in the middle of it, not being able to develop this product as a product. So at that moment, we started to grow in our mindset, because isn't about the technical stuff that you are building. The tool needs to comprehend the user interface, need to comprehend the usability, need to comprehend also your communication with the public. It's about how you trade your product with the user experience itself. So we started a long way building a lot of projects with a consultant enterprise that was built with Bruno, David, Dio, and we went through a lot of challenges and got all the expertise we needed to build Klever. So not all of our collaborators are from Brazil, but most of them are, and they come from this scenario, the scenario that you need to grow up, you need to get clever in the good sense, you need to fight against the system, you need to get free of this rat race. So our collaborators also share a lot about this culture. So when we build Klever, we born with this spirit about giving the freedom to our users, of course, with the good experience, with a good listening to the community. So being more reactive about the changes and getting away of all the stuff that isn't good to a corporation and also to a team. So what we do here is a lot about the people that we have. We used to say that they are the thing that aggregates most value to Klever, because they are really passionate about what they are doing, and this passion is also the feeling that the founders put in the first to make this company be what it is.
Yeah. Before we stay together, I worked for 20, 30 years. I don't know. I'm 42 right now. So possibly 20 years working in tech, in IT for sure, but for insurance, for the insurance industry. So all the things that I saw in that industry and deal, also in others from the team, all that we saw that is not good in corporate world, we just drop off in Klever. We don't use it anything from the corporate world.
So you don't have one meeting ever. You just work, right?
Yeah, just talk. Let's talk. Okay.
So I have a question, and maybe it's more directed towards Misha. We posted yesterday that we've measured individual users that have been posting on social media in the last 3 months have grown 264%, just in general. That's a lot of new people that are new to crypto. It's a lot of new people that, their reasons may be financial independence or price appreciation or whatever it may be. I'd just be curious, like, how you guys view all these new entrants into crypto, all these new users, and what kind of users are using Klever?
First of all, it's a great question. And I'll answer it backwards. What kind of users? Both complete noobs and seasoned traders. Why? Because of the security aspect and because of user experience. It's seamless. The fact that new people are coming into crypto, we're 12 years down the lane of Satoshi Nakamoto's genius stroke of the pen, and it's a completely, I would say, more open and welcoming environment than it was 4, 5, 6, 8 years ago, where newcomers are very much not just welcome, but embraced with very easy to use products. And that's why we're doing what we're doing, because Klever is all about, whether you've been in crypto for years or you've literally just taken your first steps into the blockchain, you can use Klever on the first day. That's the whole point. But the second layer of it is that because the tech didn't even exist to build Klever before the wallet was fielded, the tech team needed to build it from scratch, right? So Klever is using its own military-grade encryption, as well as a method to encrypt locally through our native core, which can communicate with the presentation layer, but it cannot take commands. So essentially makes the wallet impregnable and unimpregnable. It's simply impossible to give commands to your mobile device from the outside, which makes it very personal. And I think inviting newcomers into crypto through Klever is a much smarter way to do it than it was 3, 4, 5 years ago when Klever didn't exist. Giving them very easy tools to use, whether it's holding, sending, receiving. It should be elegant, it should be fun, it should be futuristic, but also swaps. It should be instant, it should be cheap, right. It should be fast. And then building up on those decentralized and peer-to-peer technologies from the core of decentralization. And that's why we're building the exchange, which Marlon, I think, should definitely give a little brief of, because it's going to be quite different from anything that's out there.
Yeah, the exchange is really challenging, and also about this approach that we want to give to our users. We want they to understand how easy it is to use an exchange at the first moment, but also empower them to be able to trade the low amounts they want, because we know that some countries like Brazil, $10 to some people is a huge amount of money, and they depend to trade that, or is also a way to store their money on a safe way. Even when you have an economy unstable or something like that, you need to have a way to store them, and these places, the Klever wallet, but you need to trade that on an easy way, because when the users see the graphics and the market orders there, they actually don't know exactly what they need to do to trade the Bitcoin they have or the dollars they have. So the big challenge of our exchange is secure the cryptos of these users on a safe place, just like we do in Klever. Give them the power to trade these low amounts, and also be able to process a huge amount of transactions in a few seconds. So right now we have a great TPS. So in the tests of benchmark that we are doing on the exchange, we reached great numbers. So we want to make this exchange be fast, be easier to understand, be safe, be clever at all.
So new exchange, is this something that will be accessible in a web browser? Will it work with the Klever wallet? Will I still have full custody? Is it a DEX, or is it a centralized exchange that you're talking about?
It is a centralized exchange, and we will also be part of the ecosystem of Klever. So we'll have an integration with the wallet. We'll have an integration with the other services that we have.
It's great.
I got a question on that. It's like, I mean, newcomers coming into the space, right? Like sometimes, I mean, you guys are competing against other people that, you know, new people are like, oh, it's just a wallet. Which wallet do I use? Right. So like, how do you guys go to market with some of the language and what's kind of the differentiator? Like, what are you guys kind of leading with that when people see that, they go, oh, like I want that one, right? Like, how do you position yourselves? Who wants it?
I
feel like
think
Misha's over there smirking.
Yeah, Misha is the best.
it's I think everything that you've heard so far, we try to reflect the company culture and ethos into how we communicate, because that's who we are. It's just us. It's real. We're truly trying to make a difference in everyone's of our users' lives. So the market approach is very simple. Reclaim your financial freedom. How do you do that? Very simple tools. Staking, for instance. Staking in Klever is one of the central pillars of the entire tokenomics of KLV. And it's a very strong attractor of new users, and of course keeping current users active on a daily basis, because currently 68% of all KLV in circulation are frozen and staked inside of the Klever app, which is probably one of the highest in the entire crypto industry. And it's based off a very simple idea that any user who feel and want that they've chosen to support a project, for instance, Klever, they should be able to hold their token and get hourly rewards. So, for instance, right now you get a 10% API on your money on an annual basis, but every hour you can claim that reward, and you can choose to compound it, or you can choose to take it. You can choose to swap it. So I think the very clear way that we do things is simplicity, ease of use, elegant UI, and very powerful tools to make profit and to grow your stack of stats or your stacks of KLV or whichever coin you love.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard hourly returns on staking. That is impressive. Do you have anyone actually claiming every hour?
Many.
Wow.
Many claim every hour, and you know, not only claiming every hour. There's a gratification to it, of course. You know, the fact that you get paid every hour on your money. It's something bigger and deeper than that, but it's something much more profound as well. It's giving users in developing countries as well as developed countries the ability to get a passive income. Super easy, right? The easiest passive income you can make in the world right now is in Klever app, and I'm not saying that because it's us. I'm saying that because I really, like you said, there is no other hourly reward for an annual API in crypto, but that's what we do.
Love it. Love it. That's super smart, because the market doesn't necessarily move at the pace of some of these staking rewards. I mean, I've seen typically like a lot of them are like 3 days. It seems like 3 days, some are 1 day, but it's just like, it's ambiguous, and it doesn't move at the same pace that crypto moves. So I like that idea of hourly. That's great. Tell us a little more let's talk about the token. Let's talk about KLV. Want to know like what's it used for? Tell us all the use cases and what a user can do with it, other than staking, of course.
Bruno.
In blockchain, in our blockchain, you're going to be able to pay fees with KLV. So, also in our exchange. So beside the app, we're going to have exchange and blockchain as the use case for the KLV. The same way that you can pay fees today for your swaps. For the KLV, staking, fees. I think basically is that.
Fees and staking. And how was it? How was it launched? How was the token launched? What was the initial launch? What did that look like?
Yeah, actually.
So I think that's one of the. Yeah, go on, Bruno.
No, go ahead, please. Please, Misha.
I think that kind of summarized a lot about the company culture as well. We aim to do a fundraising round from the community in August 2020, and we're in contact with numerous exchanges who are interested to do an IEO or an ICO or whatever they call it that particular year. You know, it changes by the hour.
Right.
But Klever decided to do an IAO because we have our own native swap engine, meaning an in-app offering. So it was very simple. You could use 5 different coins at the time to swap into KLV, BTC, TRX, ETH, USDT, 2 USDT, of course, because it's one ERC20 and one TRC20. And we raised at the time $1.54 million, which is in crypto terms quite a very small number. But what's fascinating with the IEO, I think, is that it's completely and utterly community driven. There is no venture capital money involved. There's no angel investors involved. There's only community. And I think you see that in the market performance today, where the community has been with Klever for either for years before the launch of Klever and with the company, or since the IEO, and held throughout these months, and are simply passionate and involved and deeply connected to the product and to the coin, as we are. So I think that really shows a different kind of way to build a community through community fundraising, like we did with KLV.
Is all the staking, so you said 60% of the people that are staking, is all of the staking only within your wallet, or is there an exchange that people can purchase it on and stake there as well?
Well, it's possible to integrate because
only in the wallet.
But right now it's only in the wallets.
Oh, it looks like we lost Misha.
Yeah.
There was a good question here about, and maybe this just came in, but new governance token KFI and expected ROI for burning KLV. Is there some sort of tokenomics where you guys are going to be burning to reward a governance token?
Yeah. No, the governance token. Yeah, for you mining governance token, yeah, we need to burn KLV, and in right now we burn all fees collected by the swaps every day. So every day we burn a lot of KLV. It's part of our tokenomics since the beginning, because we want to build something non deflectionary. I mean, not in the opposite of the dollars and reais in Brazil. Money that the value is increased along the time, and not the opposite. So that's the main idea. So CAFI will be another way to burn KLV. So to mine CAFI, you need to burn KLV.
And you get some sort of reward for that in
Yeah.
APY. What is that reward that you get?
Misha, do you have these numbers in fresh?
So we're talking about KFI rewards.
Yeah. So when you're burning and you're giving a reward in the governance token, is that how it's working? I think that's what Bruno was saying.
No. the initial round of KFi mining will be a burn mine, meaning that you essentially use KLV to stake in a mining pool, but instead of getting that back, all of that KLV will be burned at the end of the period. Currently, the Klever Foundation plus the Klever founder, Dio, and his brother, David, have accumulatively committed to burning 400 million KLV, which will happen after April 20th. After the period is done between March 22 and April 20th. So that's just from the Klever Foundation. The community is very much committed as well to getting a piece of the action on KFi. KFi is not just a governance token in terms of voting and approving new app protocols and different fee structures on the Klever blockchain, but you also get the protocol fees as a reward, meaning the apps running on the Klever blockchain. Let's say, for instance, that the Klever swap, currently handling over 10,000 swaps every day, will migrate to the Klever blockchain. That is an app on the blockchain, native to the blockchain, and anyone can tap into it through our SDK. Literally any developer with very little code literacy can tap into either the swap or the future loan app or collateral, whatever app it will be running. And the fees collected from those apps are distributed to KFi holders. So it's a very rare and very scarce and very lucrative token to hold.
Very cool. And then also, what's inflation been like in Brazil over the last couple of years? I'm just kind of looking at the US dollar. It looks like the US dollar has gained considerably against it. So your guys' buying power, it's even against the US dollar. I mean, what's it been like there? Is the central bank there printing money in the same capacity as we are? Maybe not in the total amounts. I don't know if that's even possible. Only future civilizations will print as much money as we have. But what's the just kind of the economic scenario been there? And do you think that is helping kind of increase the speed in which people are kind of moving towards crypto, especially now that it's more available because people like yourselves are making it more available?
Yeah.
Just yes.
Yeah, yes, because here in Brazil, the last 2 years, I think the hate inflation is about 5 or 6%. I don't recall right now exactly numbers, but it's in a couple of years. In the 80s and 90s was unbelievable because 100% of inflation per month, something like that. Hyperinflation. My father always told me a lot of histories about this age, and it's incredible. So we need to learn from our mistakes, right? So our mistakes as community, as Brazilian, we need to understand that we need to create something different. So in the other side, the government is creating something inflationary. We are here create something deflectionary. That's the idea.
And I want to add a little bit to that because that is quite an interesting take. We need to learn from our mistakes. First of all, that's all we do in Klever, not just our own mistakes, but also other people's and other blockchains' mistakes. But in terms of creating a deflationary asset, right? The staking increases currently. If you stake, you get 10% API, right? So if the inflation goes on in Klever through the staking, but we are achieving a deflationary asset by implementing 3 different kinds of burns. The first one is the daily swap fee burn, where 100% of the swap fees, and we're talking about high volume, especially the last period, we're talking very, very high volume and rapidly increasing on an exponential level.
Like what dollar amount a day?
So all of the swap fees, the dollar amount a day on the actual swap.
Yeah, that you guys are burning.
The burn yesterday was 1.1 million KLV. Can someone check the dollar amount on that?
Waiting for Marlon to just spit it out.
Yeah, Marlon has a calculator in his head.
That's what I
but
figured.
so that's one. That's the and the interesting part about that one, the daily swap fee burn, is that it's based on usage, right? It's not based off of, well, we're gonna burn 5% in 2 months. No, it's based on the more users actually use the swap, the higher the volume, the more the burn will come. And it's just going to accelerate that way. So that's an interesting take, that there's a correlation between usage and burning. And then we have another one that's a gross revenue burn. That's an annual burn that happened this year in February, which when we calculate all the revenue from the previous year, which amounted to around $2 million last year, gross revenue, and then we take the equivalent amount in KLV, and we burn that. And of course, we expect an exponential growth in terms of gross revenue. So the next annual burn will be significantly higher. And then the mining burn, which will remove several hundreds of millions of KLV tokens from circulating supply. So I think what Bruno said is completely right. You need to learn from the mistakes of national governments, of central banks, of inflationary economic models, and build a deflationary one. And that is what we're doing with Klever.
For sure. No, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Cool. I'd love to shift a little bit more back to marketing and the community and how you view the community. One of the things, I mean, you guys caught our eye because like we saw some of your posts and, 200 comments, 300 likes, lots of engagement going on from lots of individuals. Would love to hear how you view the community fitting into your overall strategy and how it works. You guys obviously you're actually way more active than most coins. So I'd love to hear more about your strategy and involved in that.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
that. Go on, Marlon, please.
Yeah, in the product, the community is I think is the most important part of what we are building, because they always give the feedbacks about what we are building. So if we are doing something that they don't allow, or they don't see as a good thing to the product, they always go there and say, hey guys, what are you guys doing? So please do something better like that. And we always hear the community on that sense and try to incorporate all the feedbacks that they are giving to us into the products that we are building, because it's for a day that we are building it. So they need to see that this product is the best product that they have in the market. So that's really important to us, have the community on our side.
And I noticed you guys have there's a referral program in place too, right, for that community? Let's maybe a little bit more about that.
You can take that, Misha.
Bruno, do you want to take it regarding the new referral program that we're about to launch?
Yeah, for sure. No problem. Yeah, right now it's suspended, but we started and we found some bugs to solve it in technical part. So we are just polish the things to be back as soon as possible. The referral program right now is suspended. Our plans be back in the next release, if I'm not wrong. And number details do you have? I think do you have better. No, Misha.
Yeah. And I think what's going to separate this referral program from others and from previous is that it's going to be a reward for the inviter, but it's also going to be a cashback for the invitee. So any new user making a swap over a certain limit to of course eliminate the spam transactions and so on. There are many ways to try to go through a system. And that's why we're also not afraid to, if we feel something it's not correct, we fix it. We're not going to leave it up. So the new referral program will be much more powerful and a lot more profitable for both invitee and inviter. But I think I just want to touch a little bit upon what Marlon said. Without the community, not just that the Klever brand and the Klever ecosystem won't have its backbone, but the product won't exist, because everything built inside of the Klever app and inside of all the new products that we're building, including the exchange, the bank, the blockchain, the browser, the trading bot, the subscription, everything is based off of community feedback. Every single move. So you see a very passionate community on Twitter or other social media, but I think that's just a reflection of the relationship between the Klever community of users around the world and the Klever team, which is daily, constant movement of information. Our support team is, in my opinion, unmatched in the entire industry, consisting of former users who are just very passionate about what Klever does, 24/7 support, personal, always there, led by Matthias Bock from Holland, who just he's passionate about customer service, which is rare, but it's really cool to see. So yeah, you're seeing the results of, I think, of also a meme culture. A lot of people just finding the logo really sexy, and our head designer Dimitri from Kiev is a magician in terms of creating things on an illustrative level that is much more thought behind in depth than most crypto companies out there. So I think that people can relate very easily to and see the care that is in not just the product, but in execution of everything we do.
So is what you're saying, that without a community, there is no Klever?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I like
sure.
that.
That's our LunarCRUSH tagline, is without a community, there is no crypto. But it kind of fits in with what you guys are.
Yeah,
I want to share
100%.
just to show what the community did. I just had to share this one because I thought it was awesome, from the Moto King. This was earlier today. They actually did a green candle on Twitter, and it took up the entire screen. So just wanted to give them a shout out there on that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of community members that's pushing everything from adoption in terms of memes or cartoons, unique illustrations, videos. This is how you build something that goes viral and has a network effect, and I think people are starting to realize that that's what's happening with Klever, and it's an honor and a privilege to be part of, and to witness and to drive and to push that kind of adoption forward for all of us.
I know we got, John, you've got one more question before we close it, but we have a team in Chile. We have LunarCRUSH Chile, and they said it's just pretty widely known that the Chileans are better surfers and jiu-jitsu fighters. Would you guys agree with that? That's pretty well.
Well, I don't think so.
I'm kidding. Don't go find them.
Just see our athletes. best surfer right now, I think it's a Brazilian, right? Italo Ferreira. Yeah. And Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I don't need to say anything. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, that's funny.
So speaking of surfing, Joe, it's something that Bruno on a daily basis. Suddenly there's a message in the Slack channel that says, "Be right back." And what does he do every day?
I'm going to surf, guys.
He goes surfing.
Yeah. Today the waves are on.
It's refreshing that a CTO of one of the fastest growing crypto wallets in the world takes the time to just go surf. And I think it's then he comes back and he sends a Arnold Schwarzenegger gif of like, I'm back, and then machine mode again.
Good culture to have, so stick with it.
It is. Yeah. So one last thing. I mean, well, I'll say it's two things. What does the future look like for Klever, and what do you want to leave us with today?
Yeah, let's go around the table. Misha, maybe you can start.
Bruno.
Or Bruno?
Me again? Okay. The first is Klever in the future. It's just the beginning. So I see a huge future for Klever and KLV also. We are building a full crypto ecosystem. So you guys got it, the idea. That's it. And so I see Klever for a long time as a big player in crypto world. That's it.
Thanks.
And what I leave is vaccine. Right? Get out COVID from our lives, please.
Yes.
Amen.
No COVID, please. And vaccine for all.
Yes.
Who's next? Marlon. What's the future? And what do you want to leave us all with?
I have to say that future is Klever, just like Bruno said. And I have to say that Klever Exchange is coming soon. So keep watching our news from Twitter, keep following us, because there are so many great things coming up to our community. So keep watching.
Thanks. Misha, the final word.
Well, I think the future of Klever belongs in a new category that we call self-bank. And what we want to do and what we aim to do is to offer a self-bank service to more than 7 billion people around the world. And it's really that simple. Whether you have $1 or $1 billion, you are welcome to become your own bank and to self-bank yourself with Klever. And I think that is the appeal of the ecosystem. And it's a really empowering feeling when you know that the bank can't call you and say, "Hey, we shut down your account." You know, it's yours. It's completely yours. Ownership on a new level. You know, that's what Klever is building by the use of cryptography, blockchain, and P2P technologies. So yeah, the future is not just Klever. The future is very bright, for sure.
Final word, the sovereign individual. Well, I appreciate it. Well, Misha, Bruno, Marlon, Klever, thank you guys so much for being here. John, as always, this was fun. You can find this on podcast afterwards. This will be on YouTube. We just streamed to Twitter. Tons of people in the chat. Thank you guys all for being here. Really appreciate it. And go look these guys up and give them a follow. I'll talk to you guys backstage. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.